What's good, people? If you run a direct consumer brand that is ready to scale, you know that the limiting factor to your growth is creatives and high quality, high performing creatives. Hands down, that's what's happening in 2021 and 2022. You need good creatives to scale. Ad platforms and companies like Facebook and Google has made it really hard for us to survive and thrive in e-commerce in recent years and recent quarters. Q1 has been extremely difficult for a number of our clients at Chronos. And one of the more successful brands and clients that we've had over the past couple of years is with me here today. His name is Eymel Daniel, and Eymel is crushing it in both the creatives front and also on the e-commerce brand front. Now, what's really interesting about Dan's story is that he started out shooting with just an iPhone, and that very same advertisement has been crushing it for the past couple of years for his brand. Now, we're going to pick apart his mind a little bit about how he thinks about ad creatives, how he scaled one of his brands to close to 1 mil a month in less than 2 quarters, a couple of months now, which is incredible, using the exact same frameworks, creative testing that he's applied across all the brands that we work with at Sudiyo as well, which is a performance creative agency specializing in e-commerce performance creatives to scale. Dan, welcome to the show. Welcome to our channel. Let's dive into it. Let's talk A/B testing. Now, from observing what you've done, I know that the success that you've seen with creatives is in testing. It's not about making assumptions and what looks good and what works for some other brand, but rather testing hypotheses and ideas and angles relentlessly across the board for the brands that you work with. So tell me a little bit about the idea and your thought process behind A/B testing and why it's so important.
Yeah, Josh, thanks for having me. Yeah, good question actually. Like the thought process behind a successful creatives sometimes doesn't happen overnight. It happens throughout doing a lot of testing and finding what's working well for you and your specific brand. And it also depends on the specific offering that you are giving to the audience, and then the type of product. And yeah, but what's good about that is that we can actually control the kind of things that we want the audience to see and the kind of offering that we want to give to the audience to make it and a bit more enticing, and then they would more likely to convert. So that's the best thing about creatives, is that we are actually in control apart from like the Facebook side. Yeah, I mean, Facebook is good with everything. It's just that sometimes you can't just beat the algorithm just like that. So yeah, a lot of the times the thought process is comes through a lot of testing and finding what's working best, and then we create variations of it to just keep on optimizing it. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're going broad first with different angles and different hypotheses. And once you find something that catches on, you double down on that and find variants within that same angle
Mhm.
and scale through that process. Is that
Exactly, and yeah, exactly, and we usually go very broad with specific problems.
mm-hmm,
So, for example, if it's a hair care brand, we usually just go broad with just thinning hair. If we don't go very specific problems, and then once we start finding out which kind of problems, this general problems that works well, whether it's about the ingredient, whether it's about the hair problem, and then we
mm-hmm.
start diving deeper into it. So then we'll create multiple variations of it. So yeah, and what's good about that is that we actually have multiple in-house brands that we always do like various of tests, and then we replicate those success of other brands to just another brand, and it's proven to work well too. So yeah, the framework usually is almost templatable, but the type of offering, the type of product I mentioned before is different, and that's what the best part of it is, that you can be in control of your creatives.
Then I think you're understating it. I think you're understating it because I know the volume of tests that you conduct
Yeah.
and the amount of money that you spend on testing on your own brands alone. And you go through countless of creatives every single day and every single week. And it's really hard to match when it comes to, you know, a client or a brand that's working with Sudiyo, your agency. It's really difficult to test at the frequency that you are testing at. So I feel, this is coming from my perspective, I think that one of the advantages of working with you is that they get to kind of skip steps and skip the trial and error process of, hey, does this work? Does that not work? You've answered all those questions already with your own brands and your own money, blood, sweat, and tears. So we get to kind of extract what works, test it out in our own brands, and kind of move away from the whole trial and error process. Now, with A/B testing, I want you to bring up a case study. What has worked well? What's been crushing it for you recently in the past one quarter? When everyone else is struggling, you're crushing it in Q1.
That's a really good question. And not only I will bring up a case study that's working for the past quarter, actually, I'm bringing one that is actually working up to this month. So I'm just going to show you a really interesting example that we did, A/B testing. So just to let you know about this creative, it is actually after a few optimizations has been done, but you can actually see the difference. It's similar, but there is a huge difference in the kind of things that we A/B test. So we found out the angle that works best for this brand, and then we started creating multiple variations of it, and just to see what kind of creatives does our audience like to see most and converts most. So I'm just gonna show you my screen here.
Let's have a look.
Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna walk through the two creatives that we tested. So the test A and test B, and then I'm just gonna walk you through the metrics. So working with us, even like in our in-house brands, we focus a lot on performance based, and we have specific benchmarks. So let us see the kind of creatives. I'll just show you this one first.
You need to see this if you get strawberry legs after shaving. I'm going to teach you how to get the smoothest shave of your life and get rid of those pesky strawberry legs. First, you're going to throw out that crusty, old razor and get one that was designed with you in mind. Meet Blim Crystal Hair Eraser. There's no skin irritation, no razor burn. It soothes and conditions your skin while removing unwanted hair. And you get a 365-day return guarantee. Get the silkiest, softest skin ever.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not gonna walk you through the kind of hooks, the kind of call to action, all that stuff just yet. I'm just gonna show you the test fee. So you'll see a bit similar concept, but we test different stuff. Okay, so let me just show you the test fee.
First, you're going to throw out that crusty old razor, and you're going to get something that was designed with you in mind. This is the Blim Crystal Hair Eraser, and it's a hair removal device without skin irritation, razor burns, or ingrown hairs. It helps to soothe and condition your skin while removing the hair. You need this if you get strawberry legs after shaving.
Okay, yeah, so that's basically it. And you can see like it's a similar text that we use. We use similar style. The difference is that the hook and the voice, and then the font style. And most of the rest of the video, the flows are pretty much the same. We test heavily. Why do we focus on the text style, and why do we focus on the voiceover, and why do we focus on hooks? So we found out that these three things matters most when it comes to video testing. So the style of video text usually happens on the video that we tested. Usually people are nowadays people are more into the native style, which is the TikTok style. So the TikTok text usually converts better based on our experience. And then we do a lot of voiceover, the TikTok voiceover, another one thing, and we use a human voiceover. That's one thing as well, a huge stuff to test, because a lot of the people nowadays are very familiar with the TikTok voices, and it makes the ad looks more native. And then another one is the hook. Hook is the best way to start testing creatives. You will see why hook matters when I show you the stats, and then you'll understand the type of hook that we should test next. So I'm just going to walk you through the results that we had. we actually have for this month. We are still running it, and do you see the screen here? Let me just
Yeah.
make the screen bigger. Okay,
Let's have a
so
look.
yeah, we spent about on this campaign we spent about $500 for this month, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it optimizes for the first ad more, and then you can see that the ROAS that we are seeing on the first test, the
Whoa.
test A is at four, almost four, and then the second one is at two. So now that you'll understand why testing, doing A/B test matters, because it will have a huge impact on your ad. So the test A, we are seeing 4 ROAS, but we are seeing much more expensive CPMs. Why is that? So the reason why we are seeing lower on the second one, which is the test B, because it is more on the native side, the native TikTok style. People consume TikTok like they are fine with consuming TikTok, so that
Right.
is why more people are more comfortable seeing this ad. But mind you that the conversion is not as better as the first one. So the
Right.
first one focused on conversions. That's what matters most. On at the end of the day, being profitable matters most, and getting the best ROAS matters
Right.
most as
And
well.
the
Yeah,
first one is that's test A. The
yeah,
one with
test A.
the automated voice.
Yes,
So you're saying
yeah,
that the automated voice produced a 4x ROAS, whereas the one with actual human voice produced a 2.3x ROAS,
exactly. Hmm.
and the click-through rates are almost 50% higher.
Exactly, yeah.
That
And
is crazy.
that is why A/B testing matters most. So the type of click-through rate spiked up just because of the creative. I mean, this is just because of the thumbnail and also the hook. So what kind of hook that we find works best right now is you can see here the type of hook that we use is showing the shaver. And the second one is showing the skin. So now we
Right.
know that showing the shaver works better. And that's the beauty of A/B testing. You know what to do next, and now you know what to optimize further. So now
Right.
let's look at the next metrics. So we found out the cost per click is much cheaper, and then the cost to add to cart is a bit more expensive,
Mm-hmm.
but we are still getting more purchases here. So this is something that happens on the website, which we could not control, but we
Yeah.
know that for sure the type of audience that and the offering that we are sending are pretty much the same. And
Mm-hmm.
then the next one would be the 3-second video views, video percentage view, thumbs up, and average time. So we have a specific benchmarks for this. We aim to be at least having a thumbs up. Thumbs up is just the type of thumbnail that is used. We aim to be
Mm-hmm.
at least 30%. And
Okay.
both of these thumbnail surpass our benchmark, which we get at 48% and 42%. So
Right.
that is how we know that, okay, we need to show more shaving as a thumbnail, because
Yeah.
it like we get at least 6 to 7% more thumbs up. And then average play time is the same. So this is expected because the flow of the video is almost the same. But now
Right.
that we know at the 8 second of the video, the audience starts to fall off. So what do we need to do next is just changing the clip for the 8 seconds video. So let's just walk through again the video to see what happens during the 8 seconds.
To teach you how to get the smoothest shave of your life.
So this happens at the 8 seconds. So we need to change this. So and get rid of these picky strawberry legs. Probably we could just say mention something else. Probably we could include UGC, and there's a
Right.
lot more tests that we could do. So yeah, that's the beauty of A/B testing. We know we understand what needs to be changed, and then yeah, we will implement it on the next test. So outbound click-through rate is the kind of what I call to action that
Yep.
happens most in the video, and
Mm-hmm.
then to get people more interested. And then we usually use very Facebook style video text for this one, and people on Facebook just converts better because it's more native on Facebook. But on TikTok, on the other hand, it does not mean that it doesn't convert. It's still profitable, but we now know that the test A is now much better. So how do we measure our metrics? Yeah, so I'll walk you through after this.
And these ads are on what part of the funnel? Top, middle, or bottom?
They are top of funnel. Yeah,
Top of funnel ads.
yeah,
These are top of funnel ads, and you're seeing a
Yeah.
click-through rate of 1.3.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And it varies a lot. It varies a lot to the products, type of offering, all that stuff. But usually our benchmark So let me just walk you through our benchmarks. We use a very simple metrics called the IDA model. And we
Yeah.
have, like I mentioned to you, the sum suffix rate at 30%. We are
Okay.
at almost 50%. And the average watch time is 3 seconds. We are now at 8. And the the click-through rate, we want to aim at 1.5. But at least we are getting at 1.3. And
Right.
we are scaling up the ads. It's normal to see a bit decrease, but yeah, we are almost there. But now we are more than 1.5 ROAS. So yeah, we are very profitable, and we are looking to scaling up this ad. Yeah, so it's as simple as that.
That's fantastic. So those are your benchmarks. Now, what do you do if an ad isn't performing, say, on your benchmarks, especially on ROAS? Let's say they're not performing on ROAS, the click-through is not great, but people are watching it, and does it ever happen? People watch it, but they don't click through. Then what?
Definitely. So whenever people don't click through, it happens just because we don't have enough call to actions.
Right.
And how do we include call to actions? It's not just a matter of having a shop now. We try to make it very subtle. Probably like you can see on the creatives, we mentioned get silky skin today, all that stuff,
Right.
including some sort of benefit into it, and people will be more leaning towards, oh, I want to get soft silky skin today. Why not? And they'll just click it, and just to see, making people more curious to understand like how can they get this, and
Right.
people will eventually click it. And about ROAS, it's just a matter of offering. So the kind of offering, if we make them click through the ad, but they are not converting, that is something happening on the side that might need some optimizations as well.
That's incredible. That is incredible. And what else do you got for me?
Yeah, so as of now, the way that we usually, now that we know what's working and what's not working, so what happens next? So what happens next is that now that we have this specific framework, but not, as you can see from that video, we don't really use all of this, but now we know how can we switch it. So now that we know that people are dropping off at the 8 second, so we need to know what happens during the 8 seconds. Is it about benefit? Is it about feature? Is it about problem? So how can we switch it? So we can just switch it. Like we don't have UGC, let's put into UGC there and see what happens. So, and then we could just test different hooks. So now that we know that the shaving hook works well, so why not we try using a different style of shave, probably shaving at the leg instead of just showing the shaver. Yeah, so that we now know what works best for the audience. It's just a matter of further testing it. Yeah.
Right. So effectively what you're saying is double down on what works and swap out and test parts of the video that doesn't work as well based on the metrics that you're seeing. Love that. Love geeking on all these things. Now, Dan, that's been amazing. This has been a masterclass in creatives, performance creatives. If you're looking for results in creatives, you got to check out Sudiyo. Now, Dan, what's the best way to get in contact with you and what you do?
Yeah, you could just email me or just book a call on our website. So email me at hey@sudiyo.com. I'll be personally responding to those emails. And you can just book a call on our website, sudiyo.com. And feel free, we'll just talk about how we can help you to have creatives that convert better.
Awesome. Dan, thank you so much. See you guys in the next episode, and stay safe.